Hey, welcome to AI for Stock.
Glad to be here.
You've given us some really interesting stuff about making big life changes, like a total personal
Oh,
transformation.
yeah. Definitely a lot of people are looking for that.
Yeah, and they want like practical steps to make it happen.
It is exciting to try to become a better version of yourself.
So let's dive into these ideas, see what we can find.
I think the first thing that jumps out to me is how much emphasis there is on setting intentions and like visualizing your future self. There's
Yeah.
real power in that.
Yeah, okay, let's unpack that. This vision of your future self a year from now. The source even suggests a current me versus future me challenge,
I love that.
which I think is a really clever way to think about it.
Yeah, it is. It's basically like taking stock of where you are now versus where you want to be.
Right.
Athletes actually use a similar visualization technique to improve performance, so they'll vividly picture their desired outcome,
Yeah.
and it kind of primes their minds to work towards that goal.
Oh, that's interesting. It reminds me of that hadith where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, while there is good in both of them.
Right.
Be eager for what benefits you.
Yeah,
So having that picture of the better you can definitely be beneficial.
absolutely. It's about striving to improve ourselves, both in this life and the hereafter. And this leads us to the next important point, which is setting specific goals.
Okay.
Because it's easy to get lost in these vague desires. But the source really emphasizes the need for concrete, measurable objectives.
So instead of just saying be successful, you'd say something like complete that graphic design course
Yeah.
or launch my own online business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having those clear goals gives you a direction to move towards. And it plays well with the idea of breaking down those big goals into smaller steps,
Yeah.
because it's less overwhelming and it's more likely to actually lead to some progress.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the source also mentions something really interesting, which is writing a letter to your future self.
Oh, I love that.
It's like planting a time capsule of your hopes and dreams,
It is.
which can be really powerful.
It ties into the concept of accountability, too.
Yeah.
When you revisit that letter a year from now, you can see how much you've grown
Yeah.
and really reflect on that journey.
Yeah, it's like an annual reminder of those intentions and goals.
Exactly.
It helps us to stay focused
Yeah.
on what really matters.
And that brings us to another key point, which is this idea of small, consistent actions, leading to significant results over time.
Yeah.
The source mentions the 1% better each day principle from James Clear's Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
And this really resonates with the Islamic emphasis on consistency and good deeds.
It does. It reminds me of the hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, the most beloved of deeds to Allah are those that are most consistent, even if they are small. It's not about these grand gestures.
Right.
It's about those steady, everyday efforts that shape us.
Exactly. And that concept has parallels in the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen,
Okay.
which emphasizes continuous improvement through these small incremental changes. So it's about making these tiny adjustments day after day, and eventually those lead to substantial progress.
So instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once,
Right.
you focus on making these small changes, like praying on time consistently or reading a few pages of the Quran every day, even spending a little time doing dhikr. These small acts, when done consistently, can bring about significant spiritual growth.
Absolutely. It's about incorporating those beneficial habits into our lives and making them a part of our routine. And that brings us to another crucial element of personal growth, which is stepping outside of our comfort zones.
The comfort zone, it's cozy,
It is.
but it's not where the real growth happens,
Yeah.
is it? The source uses this analogy of moving to a new city, daunting at first, but ultimately a chance to learn and adapt.
And think about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his hijrah to Medina. That was stepping out of a comfort zone. In a very real sense, it was a challenging experience, but it led to the establishment of the Muslim community and the spread of Islam.
That's such a powerful point.
Right.
And even on a smaller scale, trying new things,
Yeah.
meeting new people, or taking on new responsibilities can help us grow
For sure.
and discover strengths we didn't know we had. It's about pushing past fear and placing our trust in Allah.
Absolutely. It's about having that faith and knowing that even if things feel uncomfortable at first, there are valuable lessons and experiences waiting for us outside that comfort zone. Even small steps like engaging in dawah or volunteering in the community can help us expand our boundaries, and become more confident.
And it doesn't always have to be a huge leap. It
Right.
can be something small, like learning a new skill,
Exactly.
or reading a book on a topic you're unfamiliar with,
Yeah.
or even starting a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally talk to. It's about stretching ourselves a little bit each day.
Exactly. It's about those small acts of courage that build up over time and make us more resilient. It's about remembering that growth often happens on the other side of discomfort.
I love that. On the other side of discomfort. Okay, so we've talked about setting intentions, visualizing our future selves, setting specific goals,
Yes.
taking small, consistent actions,
Yeah.
and stepping outside of our comfort zones. What else does the source highlight as being essential for personal transformation?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me was the emphasis on shifting our mindsets.
Okay.
It's about challenging those negative thoughts and really cultivating a more positive and empowering inner dialogue.
Right. The source talks about silencing that inner critic, that voice that tells us we're not good enough, or we can't do
It
something.
would be so loud.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
And instead, we should be our own cheerleaders, focus on our strengths, believe in our potential.
It's like that hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Do not speak of yourselves except what is good." It's a reminder to be mindful of our self-talk and really focus on the positive.
That's such a good point. And, it aligns with this idea that our thoughts can shape our reality.
Yeah.
If we're constantly dwelling on these negative thoughts, it makes it so much harder to see the good and make positive changes.
Absolutely. Cultivating a positive mindset is so important. It's about remembering that Allah has a plan for each of us.
Right.
And that even challenges are opportunities for growth and learning. It's about having faith in his wisdom and trusting in his guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. And the source also emphasizes the importance of finding and pursuing our passions, like that spark that ignites our souls
Yeah.
and gives us a sense of purpose.
It is. And I think it's interesting how the source connects passion with action,
Okay.
because it's not enough to simply dream or have good intentions. We need to act on those passions
Right.
and take steps to make them a reality.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where our skills, our interests, and our values intersect, and then actually taking action
Yes.
to pursue those areas. With dedication and sincerity, it's about using our God-given talents to benefit ourselves and others.
Exactly. And that brings us to a topic that can be tough to embrace: failure.
Oh yeah, failure.
The source reminds us that failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone,
Okay.
a chance to learn, adapt, and try again.
It's like that saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8.
Exactly.
It's about resilience, perseverance, and having that never give up attitude.
And it's about remembering that even the prophets, peace be upon them, faced trials and tribulations. They persevered with faith and trust in Allah.
Right.
Their stories are powerful reminders that we too can overcome obstacles and achieve our goals, even when things get tough.
Absolutely. It's about seeking guidance from the Quran and Sunnah and learning from the examples of those who came before us, and understanding that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but rather a part of the human experience.
Exactly. It's about having a growth mindset and viewing challenges as opportunities to learn and improve.
And the source also emphasizes the importance of balance and self-care, reminding us that we can't pour from an empty cup.
Oh, that's so important.
It really is. It's about replenishing our physical, mental, and spiritual energy so we can keep going.
It's about recognizing that taking care of ourselves is not selfish. It's essential. Just as we need to nourish our bodies with halal food and drink, we need to nourish our souls with prayer, dhikr, and the remembrance of Allah. These acts of worship are a form of self-care that bring us closer to our Creator and provide us with that inner peace and tranquility.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And, self-care doesn't have to be extravagant or time-consuming.
It doesn't.
It's about incorporating those small acts of kindness towards ourselves into our daily routines.
Exactly. It could be as simple as taking a few moments to enjoy a cup of tea, listening to a recitation of the Quran, or spending time in nature reflecting on the signs of Allah's creation. It's about finding those simple pleasures that recharge us and bring us joy.
Yeah. And I think the source also reminds us that balance is key. It's about finding that equilibrium between our worldly responsibilities and our spiritual obligations, between work and rest, between giving to others and taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely. It's about striving for that balance in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
And remembering that our ultimate goal is to please Allah and earn his reward.
Right. And that brings us to the final point in this section, which is celebrating our wins and reflecting on our progress. It's about acknowledging how far we've come and giving ourselves credit for the effort we've put in.
It is, and it's also about taking the time to reflect, to analyze what's working and what's not, and to make adjustments as needed. Just like a traveler checks their map to make sure they're on the right path, we need to regularly assess our progress and make course corrections along the way.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the importance of seeking knowledge.
Yes.
Just as we need a map to guide us on a journey, we need knowledge to guide us on the path to Allah. The more we learn about our religion, the better equipped we are to make informed decisions and live a life that is pleasing to Him.
Absolutely. Seeking knowledge is an ongoing process, and it's a journey that we should embark on with enthusiasm and sincerity. And I think it ties in nicely with the concept of celebrating our wins.
Yeah.
When we achieve something, no matter how small, it's an opportunity to express gratitude to Allah for His blessings and acknowledge the progress we've made.
It's like offering a prayer of thanks for reaching a milestone on our journey. And it reminds me of a beautiful hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever is not grateful to the people, he is not grateful to Allah." So expressing gratitude to Allah and to those who have helped us along the way is essential.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the blessings in our lives and appreciating the people who have supported us. And I think it's important to remember that celebrating wins doesn't have to be about material rewards.
Right.
It's about recognizing our accomplishments no matter how small and feeling a sense of satisfaction and gratitude for what we've achieved.
It's about finding joy in the process of growth and acknowledging that every step forward is a victory worth celebrating. And I think it sets a positive tone for the continued journey ahead.
Absolutely. And it really is. It's about recognizing our potential and striving to fulfill it, both in this life and the next.
And it's about remembering that the journey of personal transformation is a lifelong process.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's not about reaching a destination, but about continuous growth, learning, and seeking to become closer to Allah every step of the way.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the journey with all of its ups and downs.
Right.
And knowing that Allah is with us every step of the way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to bring back to you, the listener.
Yeah.
What resonates most with you from all of these ideas?
What stands out to you is something that you can practically apply to your own life. Yeah, you know, the source offered so many great suggestions.
Yeah.
But it's about finding what truly speaks to your heart and your current situation.
If I were in your shoes, I think that current me versus future me challenge.
I love that.
Would be a great starting point.
Yeah.
Visualizing that future you can be such a powerful motivator for making positive changes.
It really can. It's like planting a seed of intention and then nurturing it with consistent action. And don't forget the small steps.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. Even if it's just dedicating a few extra minutes each day to prayer, reading Quran, or reflecting on your goals.
Yeah, it's those small, consistent actions that build upon each other, creating a ripple effect. That can lead to incredible transformation.
And remember, even if you face setbacks or challenges, don't give up. Failure is a part of the process. The key is to learn from those experiences, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward with faith and determination.
And don't forget to celebrate your wins along the way.
Yes.
Acknowledging your progress no matter how small. It helps you to stay motivated and reinforces those positive habits you're building.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Seek support from your family, your community, and most importantly from Allah. Turn to Him in prayer. Seek guidance from the Quran and Sunnah, and trust that He will help you to achieve your goals and fulfill your potential.
It's amazing how these concepts, even when drawn from different sources and cultures, can resonate so beautifully with Islamic principles.
It is. It is a reminder that the pursuit of self-improvement and seeking knowledge are encouraged in our faith, as long as they align with our ultimate goal of pleasing Allah and striving for Jannah.
And with that, we hope this deep dive has provided you with some valuable insights and practical steps to embark on your own personal transformation journey. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. The most important thing is to keep moving forward with sincerity and trust in Allah's plan.
May Allah grant you success in this life and the next, and may He make us among those who strive for continuous improvement and seek to make a positive impact on the world.